Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, September 5th, 2024. In this video, we're going to look at a recent article that came out in RT.com, the Russian Times, and in it, Vladimir Putin is saying some very nice things about Kamala Harris and her campaign to go from being VP of the defunct United States corporation to president of it. So let's take a look at that because I tell you what, there's a lot of liberal heads exploding over this. Okay, I'm going to take you to a compilation, which will include a link to the article, which hopefully won't be toyed with. But again, if it is, RT.com, be aware they'll tell you it looks like a suspicious site. But go ahead and say you want to go anyway, because it's really just, they're just trying to keep us from looking at news sourced outside the United States. And then you can find the article that way. Okay, well, here's a share screen and some comments made by anonymous people in discussion sites and even on the comments under this video that will be linked. Okay, her laugh is fascinating. It means everything is fine. And Putin for Harris is kind of what's going on here. This is actually their thumbnail on their article. If again, if it's not played with, here's the link in the first comment to that. Putin backs Kamala Harris. Okay, and then here's some comments about it. One anon commented, "I love it. If Harris wins the election now, all her opponents can claim Russian interference in the election process. Well done, Vlad." In other words, it would just shoot that whole argument out of the water that we're having Russia interfere with our elections, when it's really, what should I say, socialists interfering with our elections. Okay, another anon noted, algos, meaning algorithms, don't have a sense of keck. They literally copy paste AI talking points. So they take things said very, very literally. And another third commenter said, "This will rip the DNC in half with anger." Putin is king of trolling, just like Trump. Now, here's my comment. Okay, while Trump and Putin are setting high trolling standards, this has nothing to do with Putin's statements in this interview. It's just simply my opinion that this will always be the best trolling of all time. When Lauren Boebert went down to the border that had never seen Kamala Harris and took a cutout with her. So I just love that trolling. Visual, and it said 1,000 words, just like a good picture will. I loved it. Okay, but back to Putin and his comments. Okay. So there is a certain segment of the population that feels like these were real endorsements by Putin for Kamala. And then there are those, especially in the non-community, that said, that the Russian humor is very dry. I get it, but then I love humor of all types, so I'm taking it as humor. And again, just a beautiful trolling. For years, the Dems have said, Russia interferes with our elections, when it hasn't gone away they wanted. And now, they, if things go to a conclusion where Kamala is declared the winner, and I'm not reading on that in this video, I'll do it afterward, I think, and talk a little bit about politics. It's just kind of a Laura's view, okay, that's driven by experience, reading, insight, and a little bit of just tarot questioning I've done. But right now, let's just ask about this topic. Okay, I want a yes or no element in the question. So is it true that Putin was trolling the audience? And if you listen to the clip, you can hear their reaction. They were pretty entertained by his comments. So like I said, I'm taking it as dry humor. Okay, so am I right to take it as dry humor? Was he being humorous in endorsing or seeming to support? He didn't endorse. He seemed to be supportive of Kamala Harris. And other insights and information the universe wants us to know about this interview and what has been said. So I'm going to switch the camera. You can watch me work with the cards and we'll find out together. Again, the yes or no element is going to be, am I right? Is it, or is the thought and speculation right that this was actually a trolling moment, a humorous moment, and other insights and information? Okay, was he having a laugh? I think he was, but let's find out. Was Putin having tongue-in-cheek, being kind of dry humor, sarcasm in his comments, plus additional insights and information the universe wants us to know about what was shared in that interview? We've got the star, 17th major arcana. Interesting that this is kind of about Vladimir Putin and his comments. Then we have the 7 of Wands, King of Swords, another white hat card. Imagine that. We got a hard yes with the Ace of Pentacles. If there was any doubt in your mind, he was having fun. We have another big, strong white hat card. The universe is wanting to talk about the white hats. I can tell you already. Okay. We have the 3 of Wands and the Lovers card. We've got 7 cards. And out of those 7 cards, we've got 1, 2, 3 of the 7 are major arcanas and Ace of Pentacles. So this is a weightier topic than it seemed as I was approaching it for the purposes of this video. So let's take a look at what the cards are trying to tell us, okay? The situation and Mr. Putin himself are being indicated by the star. It's telling us he is part of the 17 Alliance. He is a white hat, absolutely. And he made those comments knowing he was on the high ground. He's kind of got some inside information. He's got, he was very relaxed. His body language in that interview was very, very relaxed. He's comfortable speaking in front of a microphone, as a good, central casting 2.0 with a lot of years experience should be. Okay, now, recent past, he consulted with Mr. T before making those comments. Okay, has been a planned incident. Absolutely, a little planning went on it, and it's gone off just like they thought. Okay, so the Dems are going, oh my gosh, the biggest villain in the world is endorsing our candidate. It's making heads explode. Looking forward, okay, we've got again the white hats, Mr. T, showing up here with the Emperor, and in the future there's going to be some references made to those comments, and it's going to as things roll out, it's going to kind of come back to haunt them a little bit. And as people wake up to things we accept in the alt media community as being true about our reality, our country, our world, it's going to we're going to circle back to that, as a certain press secretary used to keep promising. And then the Lovers card just indicates a lot of teamwork and balance in what was said. They could have said more. They chose not to. They just left it at one of those trolling moments that is designed to get a reaction from some and some little bit of lighthearted humor for the rest of us. These moments when we realize if they've got the time to entertain us with a comment like this, things are going pretty darn well. Well, as you saw, just as the camera was going off, we have a visitor right here, just a little off camera, just a little bit, is Miss Allie. I don't know if I can get the camera to show her. Nope, she's not going to show up. But anyway, I didn't move her. I'm going to let her stay up here while we finish this video. So the interview recently that included, this is our recap, that included Vladimir Putin. He made some comments that seemed to be rather favorable about the Democratic candidate for the election race that's coming up for the, as I said, the defunct U.S. corporation. Okay, now I have cat butt on my cards. I got to get to these to show them to people, guys. Okay, you're gonna have to move a little bit. Okay. I won't tell you which one had cat butt. Okay, the star card indicated, first of all, just telling us whether you knew it or not, Mr. Putin is dialed in and part of the alliance and the White Hats. Absolutely. May even have some standing within the group that is known as the 17th letter. Okay. And they were just in a place where it was, they had a little time on their hands and the ability to do this, and they went for it. Now, excuse me, kitty. Excuse me. Thank you, honey. Okay. I'm glad I can just do this home production style. Okay. After consulting with Mr. T, they moved forward with these comments. And the yes, we got a hard yes, that yes, this was a trolling opportunity. This was dry humor. If you had any doubt, it was a humorous little dig and prod trolling, as they call it. So now in the future, we're gonna circle back to this in some way and talk about this a little more in the future. It's gonna stay in the or return to a talking point in the headlines at some point. And then just a little insight is we are moving forward in a good way to a brand new world. The path ahead is pretty darn clear. And there's been a lot of teamwork and balancing of needs and wants in the process. And as I said, if the White Hats have the time to think of something and have something like this happen with the dry humor and the tongue-in-cheek remarks, things like that, it tells you there's reason for optimism. Things are going well. That's it for this video. Again, I'm going to discuss politics a little bit as an afterword, but not based on any current events or references I can give you or hard data points. I just thought it might be time to have a chat. So if you were here for the data-related tarot read, that concludes it. And I thank you so much for your time and your attention and being here very much. I appreciate your viewership and your patience with, as I said, home production issues, which include cat visitors and wisps. We had one in a recent video that came through in unexplained. It showed up. I didn't see it as I was doing the video, but it showed up in the video. So, and it's not the first time. We had an orb back when I was in that apartment I was leasing when I was looking for a house to buy. So it does happen occasionally. And, you know, if they're friendly light-filled sources, I don't mind. I welcome them, and just keeps things interesting as far as I'm concerned. So until next time, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and everything bright. Bye. Okay, the afterword. Let's talk politics. I don't want to, okay? I don't want to give it energy, but it is a reality as we are in a plane of existence that hasn't fully made any kind of jump or change. It is part of the world we live in. Politics are. And I've shared with you that I feel like, even though I try to be ready to pivot on a moment's notice, because I think things are going to change at some point in the blink of an eye or within a very, very few minute time frame, big changes. I want to be ready for those. But in the meantime, I live in this world. So I pay bills that are acquired in this world with money that I've earned in this world, but always with an eye to where do I want to go? Where do I want my energy to go? And that's why I try to have kind of a lighthearted view on some political matters and politics in general, because, you know, did you ever, the end of Back to the Future, where he says roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. Well, where I'm going, we don't need government or big government. Okay, maybe some representation, council memberships to talk with people from other planes of existence, etc., but not a big thing. So I don't want to give politics too much energy, but we are in a political season here in the United States of America. And let's talk about that. I was thinking today that actually it's all going to boil down to one of three outcomes. Either there won't be a typical, as expected, and as usually happens every 4 years, election because of some story that finally gets aired. Okay. some correction that gets made, some Supreme Court ruling that was private is made public or whatever, so that would interfere with or stop this election cycle for the defunct United States corporation. Or it's going to happen and play out. Okay, now I've shared in the past, and I'll share again, that I felt like in 2020, I believed the chatter I read on alt media that Space Force was able to track real voting results. And because of that tracking, even though they didn't get the green light to take full action and stop what ended up playing out, it let them know who to constitutionally support moving forward. I have to speak carefully here. So I think the same thing is going to happen in 2024 if we get to an election. And because of that, I do think my vote needs to go down. It will be accurately counted on some level, even if it doesn't get accurately counted here where the playing field is very, very impacted by shenanigans. And think about that. There was 4 years to deal with the shenanigans, to stop voting practices that other countries have stopped, for example, mail-in voting, because it is so fraud-ridden that they haven't taken it, neither side has. And that tells me that this is all just part of a game. You know, we got two sides kind of of the same coin going on here. If they really, really wanted to accurately count our votes without shenanigans, they would have, it seems to me, started that cleanup right away on how votes are taken and counted and what have you. And so that's where I'm at. I don't want to give politics a lot of energy, but they are part of this reality. So I do touch on them. Okay. And I want to say again, I am not a party member of any of the big parties here that are available for United States voters. I am a non-party person. I don't like the party system at all. Okay. And quite honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I think my vote needs to be counted by Space Force, I don't know that I'd be voting again, or that I ever will again, because I'm tired of the shenanigans. I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of this nanny state where even the White Hat said, oh, well, people can't handle it. We're going to have to ease them into the information, and we're going to have to hold stuff back because they're difficult truths. Well, I'm tired of all that too. And I don't want to give that more power than it already has. So that's where I stand. We have three outcomes, okay? Either there won't be the November election, or there will be, and we get true results, or there'll be shenanigans allowed again, and then all sorts of upheaval goes. I'm tired of the games, so I want honest results, but I don't know what we're going to get. In the meantime, I am not going to give my precious energy to that whole process any more than I have to, okay? When the day comes to go and vote, I am going to do one thing. If I am mailed a mail-in voting ballot, I'm going to carry that with me to my polling station. And if I get told that I've already voted, there's going to be some answers that need to happen, because I will have my vote in hand, the one they mailed to me. But that's not the one I'm casting. I'm going to cast one at my polling station. And I, encourage others in America to do the same thing. But don't throw out those ballots. Okay, you may need to prove that you didn't post one and you haven't touched it, the one you got, so the one they've recorded is not real and valid. It may matter. So my thought on that. So there's where we are with elections. I'm not a party member. You know that I touch on these things. I've got some interest because it's part of this paradigm, but I want this paradigm and plane of existence to change and to become much more beautiful and much more. I want our DNA restored. I want humanity to be kind of along the path that was meant for us when we were created, and has been diverted so cruelly and for so many millennia. I want that. I want hidden technologies. I want hidden cures. I want cures, period. So, yeah, the best possibility I would like is to live in a reality where every single career path is designed to work yourself out of a job. where the white hats don't need to do what they're doing now. They can switch to manufacturing those flying cars Mr. T talks about, and other things like that. The teachers will teach young people how to teach themselves, and they will teach themselves out of a job, except for some of our younger people. And then I've also heard there's types of med beds that can impart knowledge, and that's kind of a whole new thing. So I want to be ready to handle in a delightful, wonderful, meaningful way a lot more free time and resources than I've been allowed in this lifetime so far. And I hope you do too. So there's a little more of some of Laura's views, and you're free to disagree, but I'm not going to argue about them. I'm not also not going to say that my views won't change as more information comes down the pike. My views may change, but right now, today, that's where I see 3 possible outcomes for November, and I'm going to give all 3 of them as little of my precious energy as possible. So I hope you do too. Regardless, again, if you're willing to receive it, because I'm not going to force it on you, we are in a free will universe. I send you love, light, and everything bright. If you want it, it's yours. So many good things are.